Welcome back to episode 5 of the Let's Be Honest podcast. We've started already. I don't know what it's even about. With myself, Peter, Paul, and Stuart.
Hello.
Hello. Can we start with the voice notes? Because we've had a wee bit of listener interaction. So I want to play this voice note.
It was a friend of mine, Peter McConnell, aka the Cheesemo.
Okay.
Who?
You don't know him? I went to school with him.
Well, obviously not. If he's going to say anything detrimental to me.
No, it was backing you up with... You'll hear.
Oh, okay.
Although I do think a tenner for a car wash isn't actually too bad, considering if I was to wash my own car, it would probably take me over an hour. So a tenner an hour, I know them guys doing it a hell of a lot quicker, but it saves me having to do it, so I'm happy enough with that. In regards to the queuing for fuel at the Go garages, there's a guy in my work queued on the way in to do overtime. He queued, and I think he queued for like half an hour to 40 minutes. He probably, as you say, probably saved himself a £5 or maybe £6 by queuing there. And if he had come into work and done an extra half hour's overtime, he would have got paid about £15 for that half hour. And then he could have just went to a normal garage on the way home.
Well, hold on a second. He must be driving a limo. Right? If it takes him an hour to wash it, it must be a stretched limo, okay? I use the facilities of those people again on Saturday. Now, I don't normally, right? Blue sky, sunshine, car needs a bit of a clean. So I bailed into the one that I would normally go to on the way up from work. And it was packed. It was absolutely rammed out, okay? So I joined the queue anyway, made my way around. And next thing then, cars washed, spread down, soaped, washed, chamoyed. And your man comes to me and he says, a tenner? But it was £7 like a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And now it's a tenner. So he says to me, I says, how come it's now up to a tenner? Oh, he says, large car. I said, same car I was in the last time. Maybe it's through a wee bit. Same car as the last. Oh, no, large car. I says, no. The last time I was. So there was going to be a whole debate start. And I thought, I can't be bothered getting into this, right? I handed him over the money. And he goes up to the little wallet thing, okay, to lift out the change from the 20. Mm-hmm. But first of all, he was a bit reluctant. He thought the 20 was a tip, and I was trying to reassure him it certainly wasn't a tip. All right. Yep. Oh, thank you, sir. Our boss, he calls me boss. Thank you, boss. Well, I'm telling you now, there was no room in the wallet. The wallet was bunged. No. Good business to be in, lads. Aye. So for the three of us, I think we should have the Let's Be Honest car wash. But the problem being on the Let's Be Honest car wash would be we would actually have to wash the cars, okay? But we'll not be inviting your man down these limos.
Aye. No, that's one thing I couldn't do. Just being bent out. You'd be
wash a car?
No, all day though.
No, it would become boring after probably the third wash, right?
Also, I made a mistake, which I'll never do again. I bought a red car and then since discovered that that's a major attraction for birds to shit on it.
Well, what did I tell you? My car this morning's covered in shit as well, and it's grey. But it's just one of these things, right? The bird doesn't actually, give a shit. Word shit. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean? But listen, let me tell you, Bamford, I would love to go with you in your little red car down to this car wash and see if it's a large car.
No, definitely not.
Well, you never know.
You see, I would say yours is a large car.
No, it's not.
It is.
Hatchback.
Paul's coming out of retirement, like Jordan wearing the 4.5. He's making his DJ comeback this coming Saturday night. So I met him earlier today and handed him over some equipment. Mm-hmm. And the difference between it all tightly packed into the boot of my car like Jenga to spaciously laid out in his boot, that's what tells me he has a large car.
Yeah. So is this the start of it out of retirement now? Is this the start of something new? Or...
Well, you never know, Pistol. As the man says, you never say die, do you? You always look. Here's the old story.
It's a bit extreme.
If you have it, you have it.
It's an 18th in a golf club,
and you never lose it. I hope it's a buffet.
But I would agree with the voice message. I would say, ridiculously, based upon the size of my car, it would take me the guts of an hour to wash that. And I would rather, save the time and just pay.
You were going to say the money there, weren't you?
No, I wasn't going to say the
money.
You were.
You save the time and the money.
No. I was going to say the time and the hassle. It's easier just to throw it through the car wash. £7.
Listen, he's walking around his hometown, up and down the street, right? him and his good lady and the small one in the pram up and down the street, up and down the street. I don't know whether he's walking up and down there looking for handouts. Or what is he going up and down the street for? What are you walking up and down the street
it's
for?
to get. I'm getting into the frame of mind where I need to do my 10K every day, 10,000 steps. So I have been trying to get out and walking a wee bit more.
Right. Well, this friend of mine said that he saw you up and down past the house 3 or 4 times. And he actually went and armed the security cameras because he thought there was going to be an incident where you might push your way in and lift something.
I find it far easier to walk around a town than out in the country.
All right. I was about getting a job maybe during the day. And then you know what I mean? Like a good job for you, Pistol, be in a warehouse or somewhere.
No.
And you know the cornflakes are at the end of the warehouse, so you'd have to go and lift them.
No.
You get your steps up like that.
I'm not wanting to do a marathon. Just a few wee steps every day.
Do you know what?
I was away last week, right, and I walked around this beautiful monastery and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to my shock, the fellow I was with, he says to me, "Do you know how many steps we've walked today?" I said, "No." He said 17,000.
You were counteracting the 17,000 steps with regular photos of steaks and burgers and pavlovas.
There was an odd stop. There was an odd stop to catch the scenery. Right, motorbike trip to France. But the week away, I should have known on the way down to the boat in Dublin that things were not going to pan out the way they had been hastily planned. So anyway, cut a long story short, it turned out that the ferry was delayed by over 4 hours because of weather conditions, okay? Which meant the following day, I didn't get into Cherbourg until 5:30. I was meant to be there like at 11 o'clock. Everything went well down to the final destination as far south as La Rochelle. Weather was nice down there. Got a bit of sunburn. It was lovely. Did the usual thing. But coming back up, okay? Now, I didn't book the hotel on the way back up. So let's just say it wasn't up to my standards. Okay. 2-star hotel. Boy on the door. I was waiting for him to be called Rene, but his name was Leclerc. So Leclerc shoves me into room, literally shoves me into room 102. Well, as soon as I opened the door into room 02, the door was hitting the bed. Okay. So I squeezed my way in through the door with my motorbike kit and all on. I am quite the girth. But with motorbike kit on, I'm double the girth. So I'm trying to squeeze my way into this little room. Something you'd have in your attic. Okay. So I opened the door to the ensuite, which hit the side of the bed as well. Well, I couldn't get into the shower. I literally could not get into the shower. The gap on the shower was maybe 18 inches. I went down the stairs to Leclerc. Leclerc was sitting at the, you can picture the scene. Leclerc's lying back on the chair at the reception desk with his feet up on the table. Au revoir. Yeah, I can't get into the shower. I can't actually fit in the shower. What? Shower. What? I said, yeah, shower. Come with me. So up to room 102, Leclerc standing. I'm standing. Now, don't be thinking I'm standing in the nip trying to get into the shower with Leclerc in the room.
Mm-hmm. You're a practice run.
I had a practice run, right? Which I was in the nip trying to get into the shower and couldn't get in. So to put my stuff on to walk down. So when I come back up, I'm standing in my something like this, and I started again to try and push my. I said, "Don't quit." Well, I tell you, hand up. He started trying to push me in. I says, no. If I get in, I won't be able to get out.
Yeah.
I'll not get out. He's trying. No. He says, you turn sideways, backways. Still couldn't get into the shower. So down the stairs, Leclerc takes me again. He says, I move you room. Great. So he put me up then on 402 on the 4th floor. Right? So I have another 3 flights of stairs to go up. Yep. The staircase is no wider than 2 feet. So I'm going up the stairs sort of sideways. Gets into 402. Okay, fair enough. I could get into the shower, but the shower tray wasn't much bigger than a laptop. So I had to stand with one leg in the shower and one leg out. Right? And there was a 4-star hotel just down the street. And I couldn't understand why the bloke hadn't booked the 4-star. And we're sitting in this hut.
Were you ever tempted? Firstly, can you put your phone on silent? But also, were you ever tempted to leave them be and go off and book yourself in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the problem would have been with Leclerc, if he would have known I was in the hotel next door, he'd have threw my bike out. Because the one next door didn't have a parking spot. Look, this was a little family-run hotel, so maybe I'm mocking it down a bit. But Leclerc was ramming them in, okay? ramming them in.
He was ramming you into the shower.
He's trying to push me into right, but he's ramming them in. And on the first night, I swear, I thought he'd moved in a herd of cattle to the room up the stairs.
Right.
The one above me, okay? Because this not back and forward, back. It was obviously them trying to get into the shower.
At least you all had your own rooms and you weren't bunking up with a couple of men.
Well, I ended up bunking up on the boat, so that's another experience.
So, sleeping on the boat's awful. I've done that.
Awful.
Oh, it's awful.
Especially if you're down for a fart.
Right.
You know, what do? You know, do you just like, you sort of move your way?
You have to try and cough.
You do. You move about the bed. You know, now it wasn't the same bed. I was in a bunk on one side of the boat. This fella was in the bunk on the other side, and I knew that he wanted to fart too because I could hear him fidgeting. And you just, you go into the toilet and you try and flush. Do you ever hear the noise those boats make when they flush the toilet? Mm-hmm. It's like this massive.
Yep.
Well, that's when you do it. You hit the button for that.
What if you fart too early?
Well, you hear a double dunter. So
do you not, as two men, do you not know him well enough where you can just go, listen, I got to do this?
This fella, I've known this fella 25 years, and he and I work together in the fire brigade, and we've done a whole load of things together, and there's nothing really that's hidden away, if that makes any sense. But you still get to the point where you want to have a bit of dignity about you, and you don't want to be rolling around in the bunk, and
how early
especially when you've been to the club lounge and had a few nuts.
What if what if that was a woman you'd known for that length of time?
Well, see, that's the other story, isn't it? Like Pistol should know this. Like, would you fart in front of the missus?
She absolutely hates it. She tells me off every single time.
And then do you lift her head and flap up and down the sheets?
No, I just try not to. But sometimes it's better out than in.
Well, yes, of course it is, because it causes stomach cramp.
Mm-hmm.
Although, how do you feel? Yeah. How do you feel about a woman doing it?
I don't think I don't honestly ever. I might have heard one.
I don't think I've ever heard one.
It's a different. There's no sort of ripple to it. It's just like a.
You ever standing at a hot, sweaty?
Pistol, you could Pistol.
I've never heard.
But you ever?
Did you bring her in? We'll ask her.
You ever standing at like a hot, sweaty gig? And somebody does it, and everybody looks around going, oh. And you're instantly in your mind trying to like narrow down which one of the men. It might not have been one of the men.
Yeah.
See, that's the same if you're standing in the queue, or you're on the train, or you're getting into a plane or something.
Yeah.
Look, let's be honest with this. It's a natural thing. You have to pass wind. Dogs do it.
But
at least you know. At least you know it's been the dog.
If you're gonna do it, the plane has to be the worst place to do it, though.
Especially them sitting looking around you.
Recycled air and all.
Who was that?
Here's something I want your view on, right? Have you watched any of the Blue Lights yet? The new series? Right.
Watched it all.
I'm not gonna spoil anything. I just wanna say one thing about one scene of the two cops getting into the house that was on fire.
Oh yes.
Remember that? And all they had round their face was a wee. Was it her jacket? In fact, they just took her jacket off and tied it.
It was a jacket.
What did you make of the acting in that? Did you not think it was very like it didn't seem to faze them?
I was sitting back so excited waiting on the troops to arrive because I wanted to see if I knew any of the troops, because normally they would bring in, they'll call in the station and say, look, we need you for extras or whatever the case may be. But the troops didn't arrive. So he runs in with your woman with a coat round his head and this major fire going on up the stairs, finds the person, hauls them out through all the smoke, dilly-dallied on the way down the stairs, which seemed to be the case.
Yep.
Like, let's hold on here for a minute or two. Come on, dilly-dally and dilly.
Would you not just run straight out?
Well, you would have thought you would.
Right, yeah.
you would you probably would.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't recommend standing sort of halfway up the stairs waiting to see if what else was happening.
The house exploded, but he came out fine.
Well, that was the strange thing. That could be a backdraft or a flashover, but he came out fine. He came out fine and then collapses on the ground and is just left lying there, and she's lying collapsed beside him. But again, it is what it is, and it's up to yourself whether you think it's a great series. I read a couple of reviews today about it, and people saying, "Oh, it was great and such great acting and all that nonsense." I personally didn't think it was. I thought it was again way over the top and just not relevant to anything.
Mm.
That's just my own opinion. I'm entitled to
that. You're being honest.
Isn't it strange though? There seems to be more and more sort of A-list Hollywood actors coming here to make films. Like it seems like every other day there's a photo of Jared Butler, or is it Luke Evans at a restaurant, in Belfast or Hollywood or Bangor or whatever.
Yeah, Bangor.
And it seems like if they were in LA or New York and people stopped them and said, "Hey, can I get a selfie or whatever?" They'd be a bit like, "No, what do you do?" But they seem very willing to take part over here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, why not?
I think there's a certain level of star that won't stop.
Look, 90% of them won't stop because they're all inflated in their own self-importance. And I've watched videos where kids are standing looking for autographs and stuff, and so-called big stars, footballers, and all, they just walk past them. They just,
One thing I want to touch on, shopping channels. You were very excited when I mentioned shopping channels in the end of the previous episode. Well, first of all, have you ever used a shopping channel?
Yeah, I have.
Right.
QVC.
Are they still a big thing these days? Because I was flicking through the TV, but they're still there.
No, of course they are. Like in July, it's Christmas in July.
Yeah.
And get all your stuff in nice and early for Christmas. I used to love watching that QVC business back in the day because they had like sort of like a gadget show on a Saturday morning, and you'd get up and you'd watch the gadget show, and then they'd move it all over the place. It was different schedules, but when you looked up and you maybe saw some innovation for like a hard drive or something new, and you thought, yeah, I'd really get that, and you get it on the 5 Easy Pay, £2 a week, and all this sort of nonsense. Mm-hmm. But when you went and actually Googled the product, you found the product was actually available from somewhere else cheaper.
Mm-hmm. There's a great, which you should check it out. It's probably fairly dated now, but there's a great episode of Louis Theroux where he goes to one of those shopping channels in America. He goes to the building where they broadcast it, and he follows everything from when people come to the channel with a product and apply to get the airtime, to he then does a bit of it himself where he's got the person in his ear going like, talk about this feature, talk about that, sell it harder, to the phone room where it's like so say the product gets 10 minutes, there's a certain sales target, and it really is, it's a real skill. And I based upon what you've just said, I can't assume it's as relevant as maybe it once was, but back in the day, I think it was a real thriving business.
Well, let me tell you, and not a lot of people know this, but I went for an audition many years ago to QVC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was on City Beat at the time and had this opportunity to go to London, and in fact, it was Liverpool, and audition for the sales, okay? Uh-huh. I'd already sent in a demo tape, and they liked the voice. I don't know why or whatever, but they liked whatever they saw, and they brought me over anyway. And the audition, and I just asked, we'll just get you two to do it, which will be just great to see what you do. First of all, Pistol, the audition, there was 2 auditions. The first one was an Egyptian towel.
You're fuck.
So tell me an Egyptian towel, and they'll hand you a towel, and you sell it to me.
And you get you get no prompts at all. You have to. You
sell it. You make me want to buy this Egyptian towel.
What's an Egyptian towel?
One made in Egypt.
Well, that's it. It's just a regular looking towel, but it's been made in Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought there was like pharaohs on it or something.
No, an Egyptian. Do you ever hear of Egyptian linen? Like for freak's sake, or Egyptian quality? An Egyptian. What's an Egyptian towel?
So I thought it was like pyramids and stuff.
How much are you selling? How much is the towel?
Well, I can't remember it, but let's say the bath set, the Egyptian towel bath set, is $29.99.
Oh,
But where do you start?
Exactly. So go.
This would look
Go
perfect.
lift the towel out of the bathroom.
I would say this would look perfect in your bathroom. This is perfect for all the family. We've got a set of 4 here. If you feel them, lovely and soft. Lovely and soft. Will dry you in no time. Easy washed. Tumble dryable. Is that a word? I don't. What else? What could you say? Coming out,
5 minutes,
authentic
Pistol.
variety
5
of
minutes.
colors. Look at the colors.
5 minutes.
We've only got 10 in stock.
oh,
It was
Oh.
£24, but now it can be £12.
oh.
That's the one thing I
Oh.
didn't get. You know, if you bought it at £24, and then the next person comes along and gets it for £12, you'd be a bit annoyed.
Uh-huh.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Right. So that was about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So
And how long do you have to do? 5? Oh no.
5 minutes.
That's tough.
Tough.
Yeah. So what did
Okay.
you do? Give us your audition.
That was it. An Egyptian towel was one of them.
Aye, but give us react.
No,
your
well,
audition.
this is my gig at the minute. So we're now over to you, Banford. Okay.
Okay. Sell me this pen.
No. You ready now? A Devonshire
Uh-huh.
bathroom set.
What's in that bathroom set?
A cover for the toilet. The one that goes the floor mat, 2 floor mats, a thing for inside the bath, and like a little rack that holds your toothpaste and stuff.
This is very specific. You know too much.
This was my second one.
What's significant about the word Devonshire?
It's made in Devon.
Hi guys, welcome along to QVC,
Trust
and
them.
up for grabs this evening, and it's not going to be hanging around for long. A Devonshire toilet set, yeah. You know how annoying it is. Particularly when you get up in the middle of the night for a piss. If you're of a certain age, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. And you get up and you can't turn the lights on because you wake up. And after you have your piss, and you maybe pissed all over the floor, well, it's not going to go on the floor. It's going to go in this new rug, this new bath mat, yeah? Bath mat, that's bath mat. Anyway, and then I've got the toilet seat holder, so when it's dark, you're not slamming it against, because, take it from me, I've had problems in the past with leaky toilets, yeah? leaking into the neighbour downstairs, yeah?
You sound like Terry Tibbs.
Do you know what? He's done that. He has sold that bathroom set on QVC
You should send that in.
back in the day.
See, you know what? I would feel like a dork doing it as myself, but if I could play a character, it would be easy to do.
You could. They wouldn't know you, though, but you know you could go in and do the.
Aye, but if they pop up next to sell a toothbrush or something, I'll do, hello, Elton, the toothbrush, you know. Like, but, yeah.
But what gets me is then, only 600 sets left. These are going to sell out.
But do you ever see when they do this on The Apprentice?
Yes.
And it's like, it must be very, very difficult when you're in the middle. You're thinking about what you're saying. You're actually saying it, and somebody's in your ear going like, explain this feature. That must be a real skill.
Yeah. That's
Talking and listening at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, most of these presenters on it now, I haven't watched it in a long, long time, but they're ex-radio or ex-TV. And, they do, and put your hands up to them, like they really do a great job.
Yeah.
Because to try and sell, it's like the old saying, trying to sell snow to the Eskimos.
But
And
then I
you've
suppose,
got to really pretend you think it's a great item and all, and it could be shit.
but I'm sure they get briefed on specific items, and if you're doing it day in, day out, it probably becomes second nature.
And then they go across to their specialist. Hey, Dave, tell us all about these sets. And then Dave comes on and he tells you the same load of crap that the other bloke is told. The best ones to watch are the ones when they're trying to sell you a TV,
Right.
about what the TV does and the remote control and how good it is. And always remember, it'll look better in your home because you're not watching it in 4K like we're watching it in 4K. And you'll not be seeing these lines and all this sort of nonsense. They're really great salespeople. They would be fantastic, like in a shop trying to sell you something. Maybe old hat now. But that takes you back. Do you remember the catalogs? They used to get like Kay's catalog,
Yeah.
and you'd flick straight through to the lingerie section.
Oh.
And that was like 5:43 to 6:12.
Do you ever, like, sometimes I'll be walking through a supermarket and you'll take a shortcut through the lingerie section. I get really uncomfortable.
Do you?
I don't
Have
like.
you ever been into Victoria's Secrets?
I stand outside.
I've never been. Why would I need to go in there? I don't ever been.
Well, if you were going in to buy your girlfriend, like maybe a nice piece
Never
of
had a
lingerie.
girlfriend.
You've never bought a piece of lingerie?
No, well, I've had girlfriends, but I've never bought lingerie. Why the fuck? Why would I buy them lingerie?
Look, you might want to see them in.
They're not like objects. I let them make their own decisions.
See, every time.
But they want you in to pick it.
No. Every time we go to Dublin and you pass that one in Dublin, when you walk outside, you just see a row of men standing outside because they don't, and I wouldn't want to go in. You don't know where to look.
No.
I would say, Pistol, you know where to look.
Well, you know where.
Let me reverse that. What if you went into a shop and the woman was picking out your boxers?
That has happened to me.
Oh, well.
Of course.
That has happened to me. Those look good. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. But they see that's the difference with a bloke. Boxers are boxers. But lingerie is a bit seductive and maybe Valentine's night and no romance in you, Banford.
No, it's not that there's no romance. It's just I can't imagine myself in a scenario where a girl would say, "Come on in. What do you like?"
It would have to be somewhere where you're not. It would have to be a different country. It couldn't be, somewhere where you're likely to be spotted.
Look, that's like when you were a child. Well, not when you were a child. When you were younger and you needed to go to the chemist.
Right.
And there was a girl serving at the chemist. Well, you wouldn't buy what you needed from the girl at the counter. You'd wait for the bloke and you'd keep an eye out to see if the bloke would ever come to the counter.
No, I'd pay twice the price and just go into a pub toilet.
Oh, would you?
Yeah. I could not walk into a supermarket and just buy condoms.
Oh, no.
I would have to panic.
There's him coming out on you, me trying to be frank and trying to like.
There's nothing wrong with the word condoms. I would have to buy an unnecessary ready meal and a baguette. I couldn't just buy the condoms.
That's a good. That's a good.
And what do you use the condom then on the baguette? Why a baguette? The next thing you have a band of gravy, right?
You might as well buy a cucumber along with it.
I actually feel lightheaded.
Oh, Jesus.
Next thing will be a gravy ring, chocolate gravy ring, for goodness sake.
But you ever get see when you do go in to buy, I've said it before, condoms, and like say you're perusing the aisle, you're making your choice, your purchase, you're trying to see whether you want it for his or her pleasure, and then some like woman comes down the aisle with a trolley and a baby, and then I have to like pretend like I'm looking at like contact lens solution.
Yes. Yeah.
There's so many different choices in that department now, Banford.
Uh-huh.
You've got the self-lube ones. The pleasure ribbed ones.
Oh,
I can't. Very
ones.
specific.
But don't you? You do. You've extra sensitive. You've got,
that always blows my. Like, if anything, what I want to do is take an injection and numb myself so I'll last at least 3 seconds. Why would anybody want extra sensitive?
well, would you ever go up to the counter and say, "Have you tried these before? Would you recommend them?"
Oh my god!
But are they not locked nowadays? And they're in the wee locking case now. They're in a wee
razor blades. Bloody razor blades are locked. Razor blades are the freaking do-all and end-all and the biggest rip-off. Yep. Well, Pistol wouldn't obviously know, but the biggest rip-off bloody razor blades, £22 for 3.
Yes, you say that, but my brother Mark's worse than me, but I do. Like, once a razor blade's way past its use.
But how do you know?
I'm still, because once the wee, like...
No, that's not true.
No, hold on. Once the wee rubbery protective bit comes off it, that's when I think you should replace it. But no, I'll keep going for probably another 3 or 4, sometimes 6 weeks.
Because you don't know. That's the problem. You don't know when the bloody thing's done.
As long as you want it to do one function, and as long as it's doing that and not cutting your face off, then it's doable.
I got ID'd to buy a hacksaw.
Oh, well, pistol. I'll be honest. If I was running a department store and you came in to me to buy a hacksaw or a hacksaw, I'd be ideally as well.
Even energy drinks and all. People, person in front of me was getting 2 cans of Monster or something. They were getting ID'd. Monster.
Yes.
Hold on a second. Let's go. Let's just jump onto that as well. What about a couple of months ago? The nutters, right, were handing over like £100 for a bottle of Prime.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Like I saw them in the shop the other day for 35p.
I remember one Sunday,
water.
I'd forgotten it was Sunday and Asda opens later, and I pulled in probably half an hour, 40 minutes before it would open at like 1, and there was a queue right down the street. So not realizing that it wasn't open yet, I parked my car, walked towards the door, and they're like, not open yet? Hey, what's the queue? Oh, we're all queuing for Prime. It was like queuing for One Direction tickets.
Yeah.
At £100 a go.
No, it's not 100. No, they're
No. But
no,
there was a bottle of water.
Aye, but there were in at the height they were probably going second hand for like I struggle to imagine £100, but they were dear.
But it was a bottle of water.
There's a shop around the corner, and it was £25 for one bottle.
Wow.
Of water.
And it is just flavoured water. Yeah.
Wow.
And I've tried it, and it just you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember Powerade?
Right.
The kind of blue, and it was just that. You know?
But then, do you remember every generation has its wee thing? Like I remember, like football stickers and all that.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Oh yeah.
Look at Pokemon.
Beyblades.
Remember Spice Girls had cards out?
No. in your younger days, have you ever queued up 4 tickets for something?
Nope.
No.
The only thing I ever queued up for, I'm telling you now, and going back in the day, was an iPhone.
Right.
And all that's all stopped now too.
I remember both queuing up in person for tickets to see Five.
Wow.
Right? But I also remember the day when tickets would go on sale at like 9 a.m. on a Friday, and you had to actually, from a landline, ring Ticketmaster. Burr, 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 engaged. Hang up, ring again. Burr, 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 engaged.
I have tickets for Pink in Dublin. They're £200 and something each. It's ridiculous.
That's standard now.
But it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is I was trying to sign into this site today just before this recording.
Oh.
And it took me that long to sign into the site because you have to click the bicycles, because you have to click the crosswalks, and every time you click one crosswalk, another crosswalk comes up, and you click that, and then another one comes up.
Well, you see, we would be members of those sites, Pistol, so we would have instant access, but because you're only doing the sites,
what I would say is, what are they going to do whenever there's a robot who learns how to tick that box? I am not a robot.
Yeah. And surely they'll be able to identify what a bicycle was.
Something I'm passionate about. What do you feel about bicycles on the roads?
Will you give us your version there, or Banford?
These idiots
in the Lycra.
In Lycra and like the bright ultraviolet colours.
So you can see them.
But the tail back in traffic, about to cause an accident. You're trying to get somewhere. Even if it's a Sunday, you're wasting my day because you're going along like Dolly Daydream.
Is that when they're riding 2 or 3 abreast?
That's what I don't agree with.
And is that where also in Belfast where they've spent thousands and thousands of pounds on a cycle lane, but they still cycle on the road?
But you never see
and go through the red light.
You never see a cyclist. You never see a cyclist in a cycle lane. You only ever encounter them on like roads off the beaten track.
You're in your car there cruising around Ormeau Park, squashed into one lane, and there's a 3-lane cycle lane there, and there's none of them in it.
But also their sense of like self-entitlement and like some of the dirty looks they give you, and like it has crossed my mind to hit them a few times.
Should they have number plates?
Yes.
This is bound to have been argued before, but like, paying insurance, paying road tax.
One of them hits you.
Yeah.
One of them hits your car. What happens there? No insurance. So you have to go down the line then of claiming off their house insurance. Because they don't have insurance. So you're maybe sitting with £500 of damage to your car and they don't have insurance.
Well, here's the thing. They must know. I assume the majority of them also drive. So they must know that whenever they're holding up traffic or out doing their thing, everybody behind them is hating their existence. And, like with the way the cars swerve out to try and get a view, like, is it all right to cut out and overtake them and all that? I would feel really under pressure. Like I was,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you'll get the decent one who waves you on.
Right.
Whilst the car's coming in the other direction.
Yeah. There's a guy in London, and he is a cyclist, but he
Cycling
wears
Mickey.
Cycling Mickey. He is doing the job of
He is
100 policemen.
Despised.
All the taxi drivers
Despised
who
by
are
the locals around London parks.
who are
despised.
now. See, also to be fair to him though, he's caught people like eating their breakfast and doing their makeup while they're driving their car.
Listen, I was coming home from work on Sunday, coming up the M1, coming up underneath the balls of the falls there, and I'm passing the car, female driver, okay, sunshade down with a little mirror, putting on her makeup.
But in the mornings when I'm driving to
At
work,
60 mile an hour.
in the mornings when I'm driving to work, I will regularly have on the passenger seat a plate of toast.
I thought you were going to say your makeup.
A plate of toast?
Like 2 rounds of toast, and I'll be chewing away as I'm in the morning commute.
Yeah, but that's there's nothing about eating.
Aye, but you
You
said
shouldn't have your sun visor down with a mirror putting your makeup on.
no that, and see like that
Going up the road at 60 mile an hour.
But I can just imagine that, like, if you have to slam on the brakes, somebody goes into you, you crash into them, like you're doing like mascara or whatever. Oh God.
Oh Jesus, yeah. But that's where he does a good job. But he also then goes up to people who are maybe like turning right down, or they're like, say there's 2 lanes and all these cars are going straight on, and the other lane is to go right. The other car will overtake all of the cars then to go straight on.
He's right.
But he follows them. He follows them, taps their window, reports it to the police and all. And
he's right. But he stands at that junction where you're talking about there, and coming out of that park on that side of the road, in the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road, and doesn't move.
Mm-hmm. And he keep back.
Yeah.
But and he's right. They go ballistic.
Yeah.
But I'm only going down to turn right. They go absolutely mental. It's when he comes up beside you and they're sitting on their phone and they're dawdling away on the phone or they're WhatsApping or whatever, and he's standing there with his camera watching it. He's taking hundreds and hundreds of them to court.
But sorry,
he is despised. They hate him.
To put this into context, is this guy wearing like a body cam and then he puts the footage on social media?
Yeah, yes,
a GoPro on his helmet.
Right. Okay.
So he's anything he spots, he just takes everyone to court.
Cycling Mickey's from South Africa.
Cycling Mickey.
You go back. I don't care. Why are you going the wrong side of a keep left? You're just too impatient and too selfish.
I am seriously dead against people using their phones in cars, driving along using the phone. And I see it all the time going over to work and back and forwards, especially van drivers sitting on the phone, driving along. And, if you're coming along there, say on a motorcycle or whatever, putting the serious head on here for a minute or two, they're not watching what they're doing and they're pulling out in front of you and motorbikes and everything else. And there was an incident there just the other day and this guy's pointing at me about your headlights on. Yeah, the headlight is on. It's a visual aid for to see a motorcyclist because the bloody light's on. Yes, but they're making it out. But see this carry on of going up and using the phone. I don't like that.
But Pistol, I wanted to mention this, and I mentioned this earlier to Paul, which I regret because I would have liked to get his reaction in the heat of the moment. Mm-hmm. So last week I was very busy, very tired. Right. So Saturday night. I went gig, right? So Saturday night I go out to do another gig. I finish at 1 a.m, packed up the gear, put it into the car. Hadn't eaten for hours because I didn't take advantage of the buffet at the gig. I then went to the McDonald's drive-thru. So there's only about 2 staff on the McDonald's, very slow service, lots of traffic at that time of night. So Saturday night, so I get to the final window where they hand you your food. There's 1 car in front of me waiting for their food, right? I fell asleep at the drive-thru. Which sounds like a shit song from Greece. But I woke
At
up
the
then.
window.
Like, I'm one before the window where you get your food and felt I must have just relaxed and shut my eyes and fell asleep, right? And I woke up to flashing headlights and just about 5 cars behind me, not honking their horns, just holding the horns down. Right? So I put it into first gear, drove forward. Sorry about that. So the food was stone cold. I don't know if I was asleep for about 3 hours.
Well, that's normal, but that's normal. That's normal.
Yeah. But
That's so cold. That's just normal.
oh well. So that's never happened to me before. I've never fallen asleep at a drive-through.
I have never fallen asleep anywhere but my bed.
I have like come home. I've got the whole way home. Like recently, I've got the whole way home from a gig, turned the engine off, unbuckled the seatbelt, and fallen asleep in the car for like 3 hours. And you just wake up.
And you're at home.
Yeah, you're at home, and you just wake up with a sore neck.
You're so close.
And you just wake up with a sore neck. But you know what's funny? There's keep my voice down here. I have a Chinese neighbor. The fact is Chinese, not relevant to the story. But recently this happened, and I remember pulling in, and she would normally park beside me, and she wasn't there.
In your spot?
No, her own spot. And this was like the middle of the night. I pulled in, turned the engine off, fall asleep, and then I woke up, as I say, about 3 hours later, and her car was there. So the next day, I ran into her, and I said, "You must think I'm crazy. Like, did you not spot me last night sleeping in my car?" And she was like, "No, I didn't even notice. It was that late at night. I just pulled in, parked my car, and jumped out. I didn't even know what. Were you in your car? What?"
I think we'll avoid you driving down especially after dark. Maybe during the day you might be all right.
Like, fair enough, okay, maybe dozing off when you're like in the middle of driving home, but to actually drive and make the full journey and then to fall asleep in the driveway.
Outside the front door.
But it's happened more than once.
Outside the front door.
Just climb the fucking stairs.
Worse than that, you know what's actually happened? I've come home in the middle of the night after a gig. I've gone to the drive-thru. I've gotten a McDonald's. I've then driven up, parked my car, fallen asleep. And when I woke up, the McDonald's is cold.
What happens if you get work the next morning? Do you just drive off again and drive to work?
Stick it in the reverse and head off.
No, to be fair, I've never fallen asleep and woke up and it's been like 7 a.m.
Just reverse and straight back into work. There's no need for a house.
Sure, we were talking about. Was it the previous episode about people selling their homes and buying campervans?
Yeah.
What a winner.
Jesus. Well, on that note, I think we'll end it for this episode. We'll have to wind things up there. By the way, we've got an email address. That voice note if anyone wants to send anything into us. It is letsbehonestpod@hotmail.com.
Is that where I send invoices?
Yeah, I think you might be in the block list, but letsbehonestpod@hotmail.com. That's the email.
You went for a very expensive domain there.
Yeah.
Budget right down the tubes.
Yeah. That's where you'll find us. Okay, and I'll see you all next week.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, of course. Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks for the warning. Bye-bye.